Last time on Dragon Ball Z, following his Super Saiyan 3 Flex session, Goku spent the remainder of his time on Earth with a single goal: to teach Goten and Trunks how to get as sturdy as possible in preparation for becoming the hero Gotham needs in the wake of the cotton candy flavored destruction they were experiencing. With his boots laced tight, Goku showcased to the boys what he learned during his time on the Fortnite roster before Baba came and punched his time card, meaning the hero's brief visit was now over. Mourning his inability to schedule one last conjugal visit, but knowing there was no other way, Kakarot waved his wife and his other loved ones farewell before paying the briefest visit to Yimma's and tracking down the location of his oldest boy, who had been lifting some serious iron since their last reunion. Hoping to quite literally test the metal of the new blade, with the help of Kibito and Supremely Stupid, Goku launched a gigantic cube filled with the strongest substance on Earth as a test to showcase just how strong the blade was. Gohan took aim and took his best crack at the cube, but the only thing fractured in the encounter was the fabled Z-Sword. As Goku called out the quality of the AliExpress Tier Excalibur, Gohan proceeded through the stages of grief, starting with good old denial. Well, the blade was kinda ass, but I'm way stronger than I was when we started, guys. Maybe the true power of the Z-Sword was the muscles and friends we made along the way? With tears in his eyes and his pride on a ventilator, Supreme Kai could not afford yet another embarrassment to occur on his account directly in front of these Earthlings. Yes, that's exactly it, Gohan. The Z-Sword was only made to condition the body of the user to match Buu. Just imagine how strong you'll be now once you enter Super Saiyan. I wouldn't count on it, Supreme. You know I love my son as much as the next guy.
If Gohan fights with Cell, he's going to die!
They'd be jokes, though.
But to be honest, Buu fighting Gohan right now makes about as much sense as you going back to Earth to handle things yourself. And I think we both know how that would turn out. No offense, of course. Just as they were about to resign themselves to the reality of Earth being Majin Buu's new bachelor pad, a voice from nearby suddenly spoke up. What it look like, youngsters? After the group collectively shaved 20 years from their lifespan, they looked behind and gazed upon the most random sight they could imagine. An old-ass man, no less than 2 eons old, staring back at him as though he wasn't the most random thing this planet has ever seen since its inception. What's good with you? I'm Kaioshin from about 15 generations back. A real OG, if you will. But if you must, you may call me Elder Kai. Kibito and Supremely Surprised were in shock. How was it possible their predecessor, a ghost from the Kaioshin Jurassic era, was now staring them in the face and smiling like the universe wasn't facing the greatest crisis it ever experienced since the Earthlings invented Tinder? No cap, young man, I spit strictly facts. Long ago, an evil, powerful spirit, though admittedly not as strong as diminished Buu, imprisoned me in the blade, and I have only now been unleashed. You see, fellows, he was afraid of my secret power. Secret power? Nah, call me Kid Ink, cause you gonna have to show me. Let's hit him with a little bit of light work and see how he handles it. In a split second, Goku placed his arm forward to send a little test the Elder's way. A man claiming to have a wealth of hidden power such as himself should have no issues knocking something like that away. And right now, y'all, on the back of this, I'm gonna tell y'all Goku's a straight hypocrite. Kakarot really wanna sit here and act like he didn't take a whole-ass critical hit from that rock that got chucked by human-ass Krillin at the Cell Games, but you wanna fire off a whole key blast on this old man that's been sleeping for 15 generations to see what type of time he really on, huh? Yeah, I see you, Goku. And to nobody's surprise, guess what happened? If you guessed the old man took the facial straight to the dome piece and got laid out, you'd be absolutely correct. Insane work. Kibito and Supreme Kai hurry over, convinced that they just watched this Earthman on an impulse blow away one of the most interesting happenings to ever occur in their well-maintained soil. What the hell is wrong with you? Do all Earthlings get off on sneaking poor old men like that? Where did you pantywaist find this dunderhead, boy? It's about as sharp as a bowling ball. Oh man, I knew this dude was just another faker. I heard that, you disrespectful Earth rat. I wasn't feared for my physical strength, you bum. It was my special power that had the whole galaxy shook. Whoa, a special power? Yeah, and it'll be a cold day in HFIL before any of you ungrateful savages get a glimpse. Something about this old man reminded Goku of someone he knew, and because of that, the beginnings of a strategy began to brew in his CTE-infested dome. Hey mister, you show us your power? I got a couple of issues of Blacktail magazine stashed away at King Kai's that Chi-Chi never found. I could definitely hook you up with. Well, you do have fine taste, young blood, but that would not be necessary, for you see, with my vision, I can take a gander at the ladies all the way on Earth while they're changing with near-perfect resolution. Okay, hardball it is. You might be able to look at the goods, but what if I told you I knew a way you might be able to grab a couple handfuls of something crazy if you catch my drift? Oh, now Goku, you wouldn't happen to be lying to this poor old man, would you? No, of course not. There's one thing you can trust Mr. Supreme Elder God Kai, sir, it's that Goku is an expert on many different kinds of cake. Dad, what are you telling? Nothing, Gohan, but come here, I need you to lock in real quick, because this is important. So as you know, my good boy pass expired just a little bit ago, so I can't go back to Earth. Meaning you're gonna have to take one for the team. Take one for the... Pops, what does take one for the team mean in this scenario? Jeez, Gohan, you're supposed to be the smart one, right? I can't believe I gotta spell it out for you. Look, son, I'm gonna need you to take our friend here to Earth, introduce him to your girl, and let him, you know... Dad, are you out of your ever-loving monkey mind? Not only am I ready to vomit off the fact that you just asked me to low-key pimp out my girl, you really think she's about to let this dude see any type of action? Peer violation. This is worse than the type of time Roshi be up on when we pull up the Kame house. Damn, Gohan, all you had to say was no. Guess I'll figure something else out. Hey, Elder Kai, you and the older chicks by any chance? Shit, brother, like me will take just about anything as long as she's a baddie. I see, a man of taste. I got just the one. Somebody even better than my wife if we can keep it a whole bean. Yo, Gohan, get back over here. Change your plans. When you go back down to Earth to put hands on Boo when he teaches you this new move, I'm gonna need you to introduce our buddy Elder Kai here to Bulma. Dad, there isn't enough time in the infinite space we now reside in for me to tell you just how and why that is the worst idea I've ever heard come out of your mouth. Goku refused to budge. So, man, do you really promise this awesome power you keep bringing up is really as good as you make it out? Well, I won't lie, Majin Buu is one hell of an adversary, but with the depth of my knowledge and power, my technique will give us a fighting chance. See, Gohan, it's settled. All we gotta do is put our judgmental glasses aside, engage in a little light flirting, and the Earth is saved. Dad, this ain't just light flirting. I'm pretty sure this is textbook sexual harassment. And why did you never offer my... It's settled, Kai. You got a deal. One hidden technique for one grade A handful coming right up. But I guess that technique won't be the only thing coming here soon, right? All right, mortals, listen well, for I have an ability that no other in this plane of existence harbors. As the eldest of the Kais, my supreme experience and intellect allows me to draw out the potential hidden in a warrior and push it even past its normal limits. Astounding, I know, no need for applause. I mean, it's pretty cool, but can't the Namekian silence? Now you there with the noodle arms and disappointing demeanor, you're the one that lifted the Z-sword from the stone, correct? Yes, sir, that's right. Prepare yourself, for I will now prepare to turn you into the greatest fighting machine this or any universe has ever witnessed. Stand over there. Jeez, I always expected it to be a Kai to draw out the blade, but I suppose what they say is true. Every generation really was sorrier than the next. The audience waited with bated breath to see this hard-earned ritual cast by the Supreme Elder. Placing his arms forward, everyone expected Gohan to be engulfed in light or maybe even flames or something. But instead, something even stranger happened. The Elder Kai began doing the electric slide and a number of other assorted dance moves in a circle as Gohan and those crowded around him thoughts for any hope of a dub grew smaller and smaller than Chaozu's pinky. Sir, what? Be quiet. The ritual is commencing and I require nothing less than silence and my utmost concentration. Hey, old Kai, how long is this gonna last? 5 hours, 20 for the power boost. While everyone sat around in awe and horrified, Goku decided that he was gonna take a nap and asked to be woken up when the sun was no longer a disappointment. Speaking of disappointing, we return to Earth where Trunks and Goten, under the guidance of their newly minted king babysitters Piccolo, prepared their first real attempt at the fusion technique. Questions abounded from the peanut gallery of the Z crew, with one of the foremost being what the hell they should even call the boys when they combine together. Man, you know, Chi-Chi, I didn't even think about that. Right? Like, Shrunken, Gotenks, like anything I could think of almost just makes me want to throw up in my mouth a little. The time for thinking was short-lived though, as Piccolo called the young warriors to attention and had them proceed with their first attempt at fusion. It was so quiet you could have heard a Senzu drop on the lookout. The boys stared straight ahead nervously but motivated because they knew the time for D-Day, or rather B-Day, had finally come. The beginning went well, with both boys hitting the hammer dance as discussed. The initial arm crossing in unison was a success as well. But to the attentive eye, a clear error could be seen as Goten crushed his fist into a ball and Trunks pointed with fingers outstretched. It was subtle, but enough. But before Piccolo could call it out, a blinding flash of light engulfed the lookout. It seemed as though fusion had begun. Everyone sat in great anticipation of the newborn warrior who would be the key to success in fighting Boo. What would he look like? What was his personality going to be? Just how strong was he going to turn out? And as the flash died down, All the anticipation turned to disappointment as out from the light, bursting out of the seams of his pants, stood Rod Wave. There was no way this was the man that was supposed to be the savior of the earth. He couldn't even fight the battle against his own cholesterol, let alone Boo. But there was no mistake. This thick boy was indeed the fused warrior, the long-awaited bonding between the new generation of Saiyan progeny. The whole crowd looked absolutely sick, Piccolo in disbelief. The boys' parents wanted to send them to an orphanage. Krillin and Roshi preparing their best fat jokes, just waiting for the opportunity to strike. But it was Yamcha of all people that spoke up first. Not only that, the man was geek. Yeah, now I get it. We're gonna fight fire with fire, right? One fat piece of garbage against another. Let's see who's the strongest in the ultra super heavy galaxy belt weight class. No one co-signed. Goten started running and it became a town event. Until about 3 seconds into the jog, Mr. Clump decided he needed to put his hands to his knees to hyperventilate and hit a big fat suck off his inhaler before his heart exploded. Roshi finally said his piece. I don't think it worked. Yeah, no shit, huh? Let me go talk to Lard Ass really quick and figure out how to fix this mess. Alright, tons of fun. I saw the problem. Trunks sold the match. His fingers were extended when they were supposed to be a fist, leading us to this mess. Looks like that jobbing gene runs quite a bit deeper than I realized. This what it is. Alright boys, turn back and let's get this show on the road. I can't. Piccolo had forgotten. As much as he wanted to throw his turban at them and go back on his villain arc, he realized he had no choice. All they could do now was wait another half hour to pass and another chunk of the population to eat it so they could try again and give their best attempt to do this thing right. As they awaited for the warrior to time out, the Earth Brigade came with plenty of questions. What's your waist size? What's it feel like to fuse? What's your name? The only one that could really answer was the latter. His name was Gotenks.
30 minutes later.
And just like that, their time for fusion came to an end. The boys came apart and had questions of their own, but there was no time, as the green leader knew that every second wasted meant another human wasted. So there was exactly 0 seconds they could afford to lose. The boys fused once again and things on the surface appeared to go perfectly, right up to the last second. Once again, there was a familiar flash of light as the two boys fused and the lookout peanut gallery waited in anticipation. But it appeared that this fusion was yet another flop. But instead of the pastry pounder they got the last time, they were visited by the Crypt Keeper, a bony sight devoid of fat and muscle bone, damn near unfit for human observation. The men folk on the lookout were convinced that they were cooked, but Piccolo saw the issue. Their fingers weren't centered during the final moment in the fusion, leading to the hot mess they now observed. But as they say, third time's a Dragon Ball, and it appeared old wisdom was correct in this circumstance as well. This time emerging from the light in a torrent of power was an undeniably muscular young man with a stern expression and two-tone colored hair. It appeared as though the Saiyan boys had finally done it. Everyone on the lookout was blown away by the change. If this is what fusion was capable of, then Goku might have been right after all. They just might have a chance against Buu with the might of the new generation. Impressive, boys. Your hard work has finally borne fruit. Now we'll wait 30 minutes for the effects of fusion to wear off. Then you have to do it as Super Saiyan so you'll finally be able to put this Buu experience to rest. I don't think so, Mr. Piccolo. You see, with power like this, I'm gonna tear Majin Buu a new donut hole and there won't be a thing that fat jerk can do about it. Now you just sit up here like a good little babysitter and watch. It's time for the kids to go play. You absolute ass. Are you really that idiotic? I don't give a damn how strong you think you are right now. You know nothing of Buu's power. If you go down there right now, the only one getting a new donut hole installed is this dill hole standing in front of me. Good one, Piccolo. Popo must have taught you that one. Don't get your turban in a bunch, old man. I'll be back in a sec with Buu's head. And off the lookout, the newly transformed Goten went, with every confidence that he was going to push Majin Buu's muffin cap back with the greatest of ease. Now, both the broadcast version and the manga have really great stuff that I like in this section. The anime's cool because it gives us a whole ass introductory fight where we watch base Gotenks go toe to gumshoe with Majin Buu. And boy, does this fella take an ass whooping. The whole thing is a pure joy because it isn't often in Z that the hero getting their ass beat by the main baddie is played for gags. But Gotenks' watching absolutely is. And watching the cocky mini Saiyan fusion get his brakes rearranged is way funnier than it actually should be. But the leg up in the humor department has to go to the manga. In that version, after hitting his heroic one-liner, Gotenks jets off the lookout with a smile on his face, looking poised to rearrange Buu's guts. Piccolo's calling the kid a damn fool on his way out, but Krillin and Yamcha low-key have faith. The increase in power level in the kid's mouthpiece game actually making them feel as though this kid might be able to do it without even going all out. Then you turn the page and you get treated to this small black figure slowly buzzing its way to home base. You look one panel over and all you see is the entirety of the Z crew laid out on their backs as Gotenks, who looks like he got ran over by an armada of Ford F-150s going on Mach speed, explains with blood on his lips, missing teeth, half his shirt missing, pants ripped, and a goose egg the size of Yajirobe's gut that Boo ran his pockets and took all his lunch money low div. No exaggeration, y'all, when I was reading this part by myself, I actually cracked up out loud like one of those hyenas from The Lion King. There was just something about Toriyama's comedic timing here that just got me real bad. Little buddy was so sure that Majin Buu was a guaranteed fade after the fusion finally popped off, and it ended up looking like Red from Friday post Debo meetup because he was smelling himself too hard and them Saiyan genetics got a little too active. Oh, now y'all want to listen. Badass little munchkins. From here on, we got a single solitary day left before everything's cooked. You two are about to sit here and train your asses off, and if I even hear the remote inklings of any lip occurring, I'm gonna finish the job Boo didn't. And here, with that promise, not threat presented by everyone's favorite black dad, is where we'll call it. Tune in next time as the Earth's forces on opposite sides of the galaxy make their final preparations for the showdown with the ultimate force of nature. Will Goten and Trunks' perfected fusion create the hero Earth needs? Will Other Kai's strange ritual even prove effective? It appears only time will tell. Be easy, y'all, and catch you again in the next video.
The old Kai is a movin' and a groovin'.